Hello, how are you? How are you all? Today we're going to talk a little about the hip. The joints in the lower body are crucial for stability, particularly in older adults, as they play a vital role in preventing falls. It is important to work on these joints to ensure overall stability and reduce the risk of falls. Therefore, today we are going to engage in practicing the most effective exercises to work on this hip, focusing initially on enhancing mobility and subsequently on building strength to create a combination that is highly beneficial for us, allowing us to exercise the hip from every possible angle. Hello, how are you today? I have some excellent exercises that focus on improving the mobility and strength of your hip to help prevent falls in older adults. So let's dive right in. Starting with the first section, we'll concentrate on mobility. I am currently sitting straight. If anyone requires it, feel free to rest against the backrest, all right? The initial exercise focuses on enhancing flexibility in the hip joint. I have a pen here. Its use is to provide a visual aid so that you can better comprehend the movement. Now we'll position the pen against the hip and perform a motion akin to pinching it. Are you following along so far? It's like we desire to connect it right here, in this place. So we will lift up, and when we have the pen hooked, ensuring it doesn't move and stays fixed there, we hold for a couple of seconds and then lower, all right? While this exercise primarily targets mobility, individuals with weaker hip muscles may experience muscle fatigue in this entire region. This is completely normal and there is no need to worry, all right? So we will perform this action 10 or 12 times, holding for a couple of seconds at the top, and then we repeat it in 2 sets, all right? The second exercise we are going to do involves placing the knees together, bringing them closer, 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 closer. And once they are together, we will separate the feet. Is that clear? We separate the feet and hold there for a second. We undo it and do it again. With feet at hip width, we bring the knees together, and from this position, we separate the feet without letting the knees come apart. Now, you may notice that my hip mobility is limited as well, yet you may experience a certain sensation while doing so. There seems to be tightness and muscle congestion on the outer side of the hip, all right? Maybe even a bit in the groin as well. Okay, so again, let me say it once more. Keep your knees touching and your feet apart. We hold for a couple of seconds and return, and we are going to repeat this 10 times as well in 2 sets. To conclude the third mobility exercise, let's now do the opposite. Starting from a position where the knees are at hip height, we will bring the feet together and then separate the knees. Are you ready for this? If you want to make it slightly more challenging, you can even use your hands to assist, okay? And I'll repeat it. Bring the feet together, support with hands and open little by little. Get the sensation of tightness and tension will likely be more in the adductors and the groin, okay? As long as there's no pain, there shouldn't be a problem, right? Remember, put your feet together. Open and separate, and exactly the same. We're going to do it 10 times holding for a couple of seconds at the point of tension, okay? And we will repeat it in 2 sets. In our approach, we focused on strengthening the hip by targeting hip flexion, upward movement, as well as internal and external rotation. These are typically the movements that tend to be more restricted for many individuals. Once the mobility is done, we will begin with strength. You've seen that I lie down here on the floor. I've made myself comfortable, lying on the side with shoulders completely perpendicular to the floor and head supported. You can put a pillow here if you want to be a little more comfortable. From here, without separating the feet, we're going to separate the knees as much as we can, but without losing the perpendicularity of the shoulders, okay? I mean, it's no good doing this, okay? So what we are going to do is separate, 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 hold for a second, and return, okay? If it's very easy for you because you have a lot of strength in the hip, we can use an elastic band. I'm not going to tie it so it doesn't take too long. But if we were to make a little knot here, we get into position and we make a gesture over there, holding it for a brief moment. We would repeat the process of going back and then returning again 10 times. And of course, we would do it on both sides, okay? I won't turn my back to show you the other side, but we will do it 10 times, divided into 2 sets on both sides. In order to strengthen the hip muscles in older adults, let's continue with the second exercise. This time, we will be lying on our back. It is best to perform this exercise on a floor or a mat rather than on a soft bed, as it will provide a firmer surface. From this stance, we position our feet at a distance equal to the width of our hips and then forcefully press down using the strength of our legs. Keep going until we raise our glutes high up. We must truly sense the muscle contraction at this moment and lower slowly, okay? We elevate, hold the contraction for a second, lower gently with just a bit of strength, all right? If you have slightly more strength paired with just a tad more effort, let's try level 1, capacity. We lift the opposite leg as well, mirroring the action with one leg. Hold for a second and lower, okay? We will do 10 repetitions divided into 2 sets. If you choose to use one leg, do 10 with that leg, then 10 with the other leg, take a rest, and then repeat the process. This way you will have done a total of 20 repetitions. But remember, level 1 here and level 2 here. Choose the one that suits you best, always without pain. For the third exercise, let's focus on strengthening the hip. We will move to the side and support ourselves, using a pillow if needed for comfort. Now, we can also work on the lower leg, starting with the left side. This exercise will help target that area and improve its strength. How can we accomplish this task? We will start by shifting our right leg and positioning it here, providing additional stability. From this position, we proceed to elevate our lower leg. ensuring a controlled descent afterward. We raise and briefly pause the contraction before lowering back. We will execute the task a total of 10 times, taking brief breaks in between, divided into 2 sets, following the same pattern as previously. We would do the same with the other leg, facing backward, but I won't do it to avoid turning my back on you, okay? But it's very simple. We start from here, cross to stay stable and not fall, shoulders perpendicular to the ground, and from here lift a little. And lower and repeat it 10 times. Exercises to enhance hip flexibility in elderly adults, workout number 4. We position ourselves on the side again, just the same. Support the head, make sure we're comfortable. You can use a cushion or a pillow. And shoulders completely perpendicular to the floor. From here, you've seen that I've tied a band around my ankles, okay? So what we're going to do is separate the ankles upwards against the band as far as you can without compensating with the hip, okay? Being completely straight, I want you to hold for a moment. You will start feeling a contraction in your hip area, and the descent will be slow and controlled, all right? Let's repeat the exercise once again. Shall we elevate, pause momentarily, and then gradually descend? Let's carry out this motion smoothly. Don't forget to avoid overcompensating with your hip, all right? Because if you begin to lift from here, I guarantee that you won't be able to lift anymore. However, if you start moving in an unusual manner, you may lift a little higher, although it wouldn't be of much use, all right? We continue lifting until we experience some congestion, indicating that the hip is securely fixed and stable. Now let's lower down the intensity of the exercise gradually. To keep it balanced, we'll perform 2 sets of 10 repetitions in total. Let's go with our 5th and last exercise of the strengthening phase for the hip in older adults. We continue with a band tied to the feet, okay? We're going to tie it and place it on the front part of the foot. To create more tension in the band, we will slightly increase the distance between our feet, making them approximately hip width apart. The exercise we are about to do is quite similar to the previous mobility exercise, but this time we are adding in the band to make the tension even more intense. So the plan is to raise the body while keeping tension on the band for a short period, then bring it back down. It's important to note that when you lift, your body may have a tendency to do something different, all right? If you don't flex the hip while lifting your leg and lean back, it becomes useless, all right? The hip's flexion is important for a purpose. Therefore, when we ascend, we should firmly grasp the pen, pinch it, and ensure that our body remains completely upright, all right? When we ascend, we must not lean backward, as I have already mentioned to you, okay? And we're going to do it 10 times with each leg in 2 sets. If you want to make it a bit more dynamic, you can do 1 with each, 1 with the other, 1 with each, 1 with the other, or you can do them all consecutively with 1. In older adults, it's important to switch between feet while walking. This may seem silly, but it helps prevent stumbling and tripping over steps. Older adults sometimes have a tendency to drag their feet or trip easily, so this exercise is crucial. Flexing the hip is crucial to avoid minor issues caused by dragging or not properly lifting the feet while overcoming obstacles, thus preventing potential falls. Its ability to prevent accidents makes it a highly useful skill to develop. This has been our routine featuring the most effective exercises to enhance hip strength in older adults. As we always mention, it's crucial to perform the exercises without experiencing pain. But in this case, it's even more essential because we are engaging in a task of prevention, strengthening, and gaining hip mobility to improve life quality. However, if we inflict pain while training, causing an injury, it becomes illogical and counterproductive. In order to avoid pain, it is recommended to exercise regularly. Working out 2 or 3 times a week can be beneficial, but it is also possible to exercise daily if desired. These exercises are designed to be completed in just 10 or 15 minutes, at most. By incorporating these into your daily routine, you will notice a significant improvement in your overall quality of life. I genuinely hope that you find these exercises beneficial. If you have any questions about it, you can leave us a comment, and as we always say, until next time and beyond, goodbye.